Hello, this is Mr. Craig, and welcome to the 2021 school year. This is AP Chemistry at Plainfield High School. I want to welcome you to another year. This will probably be one of the more interesting classes you take throughout your whole high school career. And the reason why I say that is because AP Chemistry is a strange critter. And what I mean by that is there's quite a few of you that have decided to take this your sophomore year or even your junior year, which I applaud you for taking on the challenge, but this is not like any other class you've ever taken in high school, middle school, or ever. First and foremost, I don't want you to come in with the preconceived notion that you are smart and you do not have to study. One of the things that we need to get rid of while you're in this class is nobody is smart. There are things that you have learned and there are things that you have not learned. You need to throw away the title of talented, gifted, smart. What I want is somebody that is hardworking, willing to listen, and willing to learn. In other words, be teachable. All right, so looking at this picture here, you're probably like, whoa, that looks like some cool stuff we're going to do this year. Actually, we won't do anything that involves like this condensation of the vapor over here on the right. I am going to start a new course next year, which is called AP Environmental, and this is only for students that have taken the AP Chemistry exam. And what this is, it's AP Environmental, but it really has a lot of organic chemistry nested within. So if you like AP Chemistry or you really like Baby Chem, also known as Honors Chem, you'll hear me use that term quite a bit. Organic Chemistry is the weed out class when you get into college. So I will be teaching a brand new course next year again, and it will deal with nomenclature, structures, functional groups, and a lot of other fun things that I don't really want to talk about right now. This is AP Chemistry. So don't get excited by seeing the Classwork and how all this is arranged. That's for AP Environmental, so to speak. So introduction. My name is Mr. Craig, as I had stated earlier. This will be my 23rd year of teaching in the 2021 school year. I started at Avon High School, loved Avon High School, taught there for 17 years. When the opportunity arose to come to Plainfield, I jumped on it. I've lived in Plainfield since, 99, 2000, I can't remember. Love the community, love everything about Plainfield. So when that opportunity presented itself, I took advantage of it. And so I have been teaching here. This will be my 6th year. I came in when my son was a freshman, so we were both freshmen at Plainfield at the same time. It's fun. He is now a sophomore at IUPUI. He is studying criminal justice with a very high concentration in becoming an Air Force officer, so he's very active in the ROTC. My wife is a kindergarten teacher at Maple Elementary in Avon, and we love it. We love teaching. I love teaching. You'll find my enthusiasm toward teaching, and if you don't enjoy this class, I don't know. There might be something wrong with you. I'm kidding. All right, so some contact information. Probably the best way to reach me is to email me. If you want to call me, I may not get the message until the next day, but I do check my email quite frequently. In the afternoons after school, I do help coach cross country and track, so I may not answer your email until after 6 p.m. or 7 p.m., whatever. So, but it is usually within a couple hours, as long as you're not writing me a dissertation where I have to write a long response that involves a lot of answers. Hopefully that is not the case. Expectations. My expectation of you is to be a student, to be willing to learn, to be willing to challenge yourself, to become uncomfortable. The one thing that I don't ever want to hear while anybody's in this class is, I'm smart. I was in the gifted and talented program. I've been told ever since I was knee high that I'm just an amazing individual. Well, I am going to fix all of that for you. There is no such thing as smart. There are things that you have learned, and there are things that you have not learned. Many of the things that you will be exposed to in this class, you have not learned. But if you put in the time, the effort, you will learn it, and you will gain experience over this. Nobody is born smart. Now, some of us have a little bit better ability to retain information, but you have to work if you wish to be successful. And that doesn't just involve this class. That involves with everything in life. I'm a cross-country coach, and I love it when I see students arrive on the first day and they haven't been running all summer and they want to go out and run 5 miles. Well, good luck with that, because you are young and you might be in great shape, so to speak. In other words, you're not morbidly obese or anything, and you can go and handle the first mile, maybe even the first 2 miles. But because you haven't been putting in the work, you haven't been doing what you've been needing to do or been asked to do, then you're going to fail. And don't think that failure is a bad thing. You will fail many times in this class. That is one of the expectations. And I like using the analogy that when you were a baby and you don't remember this, you don't remember your biggest failure in life, learning how to walk. Man, when you started walking, boom, face plant. What'd you do? Oh, well, I've been labeled as a talented and smart person, so I should not ever try again. That is one thing that we do not want to do in this class. So the expectation, if I assign you some work, and you'll always have the schedule. You can always work ahead. You can do it the day of. I don't care, but don't fall behind. This is not a class where it's like, the test isn't for 2 weeks. I don't need to do anything for 2 weeks, or I'll wait until the night before. That is a recipe for disaster, especially in a class like this. And the types of questions you're going to be exposed to on the test, they are nothing like the content questions that I'm going to give you while you're here in class. Okay, so what I don't ever want to hear is, this question is nothing like the questions that we did in class. You are absolutely correct. I am looking for content. I'm looking for problem solving. And you are going to learn how to be a good problem solver. If not, it's going to be a horrible experience for you. The expectation, work hard. Ask questions. Ask other people questions. If you're not comfortable talking to me, I feel bad for you, because I'm probably one of the easiest going teachers you'll probably meet. Don't think that because I'm loud and I have a very deep voice and that I, quote unquote, sound mean, you got to get over that. You got to ask me questions. Google Classroom, that's where everything will be. So I sent you an invitation earlier. Let me actually move my picture over here. So the 2020 AP Chemistry, and this is how it looks. This is August 1st of 2020. And I have put some things up here like do these first. And so calculator, first thing, make sure you have a calculator. It doesn't have to be an expensive calculator. Now this I made last year when the school sales were going on. I really haven't noticed any school sales taking place in Walmart, but this is the extent of the functionality that you would need. Now, some of you are looking for a brand new calculator, and let me suggest that if you are looking for a very good calculator, and I have one right here, and many students have fallen head over heels in love with this. This might be this TI Inspire, and again, it's a CX CAS. That's really important. CX CAS TI Inspire. Don't get the ones that have the white bars along the side. Don't do that, because that's not a CAS. And if you have this calculator, I will be able to show you some functionality that you can do with this that's pretty darn impressive. Do not buy it to play video games. That is probably one of the dumbest things that you can do. It is allowed for the SAT, the AP exam. So keep that in mind. We'll talk about calculators later, but if you are in the market for a calculator, I would highly recommend a TI Inspire CX CAS. Really important. The CAS is very important. And if you buy it without the CAS, you're going to regret that purchase. All right, so we need a calculator. And again, you can spend $9 or you can spend, I think these are probably about $140. Again, not expecting you to buy a TI Inspire CX CAS, but if you want one, it's probably not a bad idea. So make sure you have a calculator. Calculators that we are trying to avoid are these awful single line calculators. I cannot help you if you bring one of these calculators to class and you start asking me questions about, I keep doing what you're doing, but I can't go back and look at the history. I need to be able to go and look at the history. And again, when you have the history there, I can see what buttons you pushed, etc. So I'm not saying you cannot have a single line calculator. It's just going to be really difficult for me to help you with a single line calculator. Okay, so get a calculator, please. We'll talk about Cami earbuds. Please bring your earbuds in to class. There'll be some days where, especially here at the beginning, where you will be asked to watch a lecture video. You will find that my class is flipped. In other words, we'll talk about this on the first day of school, but you watch the lecture video, then we do the homework in class as classwork. Your homework is to watch the lecture. So at the beginning, obviously, you won't come in watching videos beforehand. We'll talk about that later. Let's see here. The syllabus. I will talk about the syllabus in class, but that is available for you as well. There's my email again, and it has everything that we need to talk about. So the syllabus is in Google Classroom. And let's see. Oh, also, let's see here if I can find it real quick. I did put as a link, actually it's in Google Classroom. Yeah, I already have it up. There's a link in Google Classroom that has this document, which is pretty amazing. And it has everything that I did in Honors Chem, Baby Chem. And at the very beginning here, these are the 4 units that we're going to be essentially going over in AP. So if you are watching this on August 2nd and you have a couple of days before school starts and you need to brush up on some things, this is where I would go. In AP Chem, this is everything that we're doing except minus the organic chemistry. I'm actually going to transition that out. So these are all the topics that we're going to cover in AP Chem. And if you click on where it says like Schedule 1, then it will bring up the proposed schedule. This is going to be your Bible by which, or your diary, which you're going to follow things. I'm going to talk about the links up above here in a little bit, but each day you will know exactly what is happening. So there are no surprises. So there's a proposed schedule. So our first exam, assuming that we are still in school and not doing e-learning, you will have your first exam September 17th and 18th. And yes, every exam is a 2-day exam. So you will always do the free response portion first, and then you'll do the multiple choice portion next. We'll talk about how I grade all that a little bit later on, but if you're curious, you can always talk to former students that have taken this class about that. But for right now, I don't want to talk about that. All right, so we've discussed the introduction, contact information, expectations, Google Classroom, and I want to talk about the Cami app. So on the right side, right about here, there's a link for you to click on to watch the video. If you have no idea what Cami is all about, you need to watch this video. And also, I would highly recommend that you click on a video from Google Classroom to find out more about Cami, but we will talk about Cami later on. All right, the last thing, what if we go to e-learning? say that for whatever reason, Plainfield High School says, all right, you guys aren't allowed back in the building for a while, or sorry, the governor says that you're no longer allowed back in the building, then we are business as usual. Nothing will change, except you will now have what's called the either blue days, red days. I can't remember what color the days are. You are expected to attend class during the assigned time. And we'll talk about that if that happens. Hopefully that does not happen. But we will have a Google meeting during the time that we are to meet. The Google meeting may last the whole period. It might last 20 minutes. Just depends. You are not to go out and get a job and not attend class. That is unacceptable. So the expectation there is that when we meet as a class, either in person or online, you are present. I will be taking attendance, and yes, the attendance will matter in terms of your grade, so to speak, and we'll talk about that if that takes place. All right, so again, if you have any questions, by all means, send me an email. I look forward to meeting all of you, and I want to wish you a very successful 2020-2021 school year.